Hello, Dusty. Let me turn this music down. My God, it's loud. Um. All right. Let's see how the games tonight are going. Oh, man. I still got to turn this music still loud as heck. What the? Barks, what's up, man? Just trying to see how these scores are going tonight. Coastal dominated Marshall. West Virginia, I think, won a close one against Cincinnati. Do you advise for football and basketball as well? No. No. Absolutely not. Because I mean, I don't have any expertise in football. I don't have any expertise in basketball. I'm a big football fan, but again, I don't have any connections with football coaches, and I can't advise on football development and stuff like that. Now, maybe that's something in the future we bring in people that can do that, but not right now. South Carolina beat Ole Miss. Yikes. That is, I told you guys, South Carolina's going to be playing spoiler. TCU beat UCF. BYU beat Arizona. Yikes. Troy. You getting fired up about playoffs next week? Yeah, it's going to be fun, man. I mean, I just looking at the teams that are going to make the playoffs. I mean, it's going to be because again, now with private schools, I think we play up to 2 or 3A. So we're gonna be playing maybe not 3A. I know 2A for sure, but like everyone in the playoffs now, because when I was in the state playoffs, it was just Class A. It was public and private. So there were some regions that were weaker and everything like that. Now if you win the region, you get into the playoffs, but then it's just power rankings after that. So like everyone in the playoffs is gonna be good. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be tough. Like every round is gonna be tough. Clemson beat Louisville close, man. Just again, Clemson just does not lose the close games. They just win all the close games. Georgia State got beat pretty bad by Southern Miss. Vandy came back, and I mean, Texas Auburn. We're gonna pull that one up. A&M's beating Arkansas. We're gonna watch that as well. With some good games going on. Let me pull up ESPN real quick. How is Barry Bonds only 21 years old in his MLB debut? I think he's just really good. There are some hitters that make it to the big leagues very quick, even from college. I don't know. I don't know if he was sophomore eligible draft. Maybe. I mean, he'd be younger then. I don't know. But I mean, there are guys that Barry Bonds was Barry Bonds. So like, are you surprised that he was in the big leagues at 21? Or are you saying he's old? I mean, he went to college. Like he wasn't 19. Let's pull up. I'm going to pull up the Auburn, Texas game first. Texas has 1 man out, 1 out. You're going to be up late, huh? I mean, I got the monitor down here. I mean, we're riding. Let's pull up. Let's watch Auburn, Texas, or someone else can watch A&M and Arkansas. We'll bounce back in between. I will be right back. I got to get something to drink. I have got to get something to drink. I will be right back. Okay? Just stay here. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. We're back. Don't worry, guys. I'm here. All right. No, I'm not. I'm not grabbing a brewski. This is a Waterloo, just so you can tell. That's just carbonated water, baby. I just don't know how you can be that young in the big leagues if you go to college like Bonds did. Um, like there's some names. I mean, look at I think Torkelson made it pretty quickly up to the big leagues. You look at Dustin Ackley out of UNC; he made it up really fast. I'll give it to you, Wes. It is rare for even an elite college hitter who gets drafted really high to get there that quickly. Bonds drafted at 20. So he was a really young, like freshman in college. So he's like a year younger than most guys in his age group. Went right to high A, next year AAA in big leagues. Yeah, and again, I mean he's Barry Bonds, so 2 outs for Auburn. Texas is leading 3-2. Man, A&M, dude. Like I said, man, and we'll go over to the A&M game here in a second too. But it's like I said, man. When you have that talented of a team that's just underperforming severely, they get on a roll and they get a few series wins. They swept South Carolina. I said it 2 weeks ago. I was like, that South Carolina series is going to determine A&M's future because if they lose that series, they're done. But if they win that series, I think they're going to be dangerous the rest of the way. And now they're on the way to beating Arkansas game 1 in Fayetteville. Sorry, I had to respond to a guy on Instagram. All right, Waterloo's pretty good, better than LaCroix and Bubbly. Topo's goaded. Yeah, I agree. I think Waterloo's like second. I mean, Topo Lime is just like undefeated. Topo Lime is. I could drink Topo Lime for the rest of my life and be happy, and it's so good. But Waterloo's really good. Zach, seems like Clemson wins every close game. 100%, man. And that's, I mean, that is it's like I've told you guys for the last couple of weeks, like that's a thing that really good teams do. They win the close games, and Clemson just is, I mean, they're like undefeated in close games. I would love to see their record with like one run games. It's probably ridiculous because they've had a lot of 1 run, 2 run games, and they just seem to win all of them. All right, well, this is Auburn's last chance here. Bottom 9. Who is the biggest commit ESA has right now? Um, there's a lot of them, man. I mean, Colin White at Georgia for Georgia Tech in the 26 class. We also have Quincy Bright, who at the time when he committed to Mississippi State in the 26 class, lefty as well, left-handed pitcher. He was one of the top players in the country, and then he ended up having Tommy John. He just came back this year. So I imagine if he gets back up to kind of where he was like he was in 8th grade throwing 94. I mean, ridiculous stuff. And type of kid that like he'll probably easily when he gets on campus be sitting in the mid 90s, could even be a draft guy. And Colin White's in that category as well. I mean, if he takes another tick up in fastball and he's in consistently in the mid 90s, the same thing. So those two guys certainly. I mean, you talk about some of our best players ever, like Drew Gilbert at Tennessee, who went in the first round. We've worked with a lot of really good guys and high draft picks. I mean, last year alone, I think we had 6 guys in the big leagues, former clients. Louisville oddly started a freshman with 10 innings pitched and 6 ERA. Kind of strange. That is weird. That is weird. That's weird, too, because Louisville's ace is really good. So I wonder if they're just playing they're pitching him off against Aiden Canuck. Auburn 8-2 in 1-run games here. Can't wait for Clemson FSU in a couple weeks. Yeah, that'll be really good. And that's a great series if you're Georgia Tech, because like you're hoping for a split series and like maybe a Clemson loss in a series, and then Georgia Tech can kind of potentially lock up the best record in the ACC if they play well down the stretch on these last couple series. First guy out for Auburn. O2 count on the second hitter up for Auburn. Wonder how Virginia FSU being canceled will affect the ACC at the end of the year. I mean, it's definitely going to have a major impact on Virginia, right? Because they have, I believe, without this series, they had 12. Well, with this series, they had 12 games left, and that's a big series where you get a series win, boost your RPI. Obviously, good for your chances of not only getting in the tournament because Virginia's 9-9, so they're at that part of the year where depending on how they finish, they could not make the tournament. They could barely make the tournament, or they could host if they play really well down the stretch. Like, right, they still control their destiny, even in a hosting category. Kyle has no juicy gossip tonight, no buzz. I don't know, man. I mean, we've talked about it a bunch. There's literally there's no one saying anything about the Georgia Tech job. We're all in limbo in that category, and that's really, as far as gossip around college baseball, that's like the only thing anyone could talk about right now. And Auburn is one strike away from losing. But yeah, Zach, that's going to have a major impact on Virginia, because now they got, instead of 12, they got 9 games left. You know, so that's gonna hurt. I mean, they got to really play well now, right? And Auburn loses game 1. Texas just unbelievable in the SEC right now. All right, let's go over to the A&M game. Wonder how big the injury to Spencer is for Texas. Left the game with an arm injury. Well, yeah, I mean, it's never good when one of your big arms goes down, especially on Friday or Thursday, not this week, but your number one guy. I didn't see it, Zach. Did it look bad, or did it look like could be kind of something that's not as tough, not as bad of an injury as it could be? I didn't see the injury, so I don't know. Did it look really bad or what? A&M ends the 8th inning up 6-4 on Arkansas. Arkansas has made 2 errors on the night. It's a 2-run difference. 6-4 going to the 9th. A&M coming up. Phil Collins is playing at the ballpark right now. We can smell it. We can feel it. LSU Alabama is going on right now too, and Alabama is leading 5-4. I need someone watching the Alabama LSU game as well. Man, if A&M wins this series against Arkansas and they get to, let's say they get to 8-10, oof. They could really play well to finish it and end up with a host. That's what's scary. Bama blew it. LSU just took the lead. Let me pull up the live stats. I'll follow the live stats. So Arkansas to finish has Florida next weekend, then Texas, number 1 Texas, number 9 LSU, then number 4 Tennessee. But they've played so well to start, they're fine. But it's the SEC, right? The SEC, it's brutal every weekend pretty much, unless you're playing Missouri. Because even teams like Florida and South Carolina, South Carolina was not projected to do what they've done so far this year. Now they're 3-13, I believe. All right, can A&M get some insurance runs here? Can they add a run or two here in this inning? Milam, 3-run bomb. Jeez. Jay Slavalette leading off for huge win for Vandy today over Georgia. Yeah, and Georgia, Georgia's starting pitcher, Brian Curley, pitched really well. Just Georgia offense couldn't put up any runs. And Lavalette hits a leadoff home run in the top of the ninth. Solo shot to lead off the ninth for Lavalette. A&M has a 7-4 lead now. Yep, Texas A&M is fully back. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, I mean, you're right, Zach. Like, it's like I said. I mean, when they swept South Carolina, and especially on Sunday when they hit 2 grand slams in the ninth to come back and win, it's like this team, they figured it out. They figured, and because again, for A&M, the pitching's been good all year. It's just the offense was anemic. Like, they were scoring 4 runs a game for the first half of the season, and even past the first half of the season. And now the offense has come to life. And they got a few guys back, right? Sorrell, they got a few guys. They got a big bat back, and it just seems like they found their mojo as an offense. It looks like recruiting is starting to pick back up for 2026 in anticipation of the new rules. Yeah, it's interesting, man, because like everyone's in limbo. I mean, this is the time when the recruiting starts picking back up, just because it's that late in the season where there are some teams that are like, we're not going to make the tournament. So we need to start kind of getting ahead of it and start recruiting and start focusing on that more. So this is that time, you're past the halfway point of the season for most teams. And again, like if you're South Carolina, you're 3-13, you're like, okay, unless we run the table and get like 3 sweeps, we're probably not going to make the tournament. We need to start hammering recruiting. How is Vandy not a host, but Oregon State is? Vandy is number 6 RPI and number 4 strength of schedule. Yeah, Zach, it's like I've said, man. Unfortunately, for the NCAA tournament, they like to have hosts all over the country, and I feel like, again, I feel like there's teams that are more deserving on the West Coast than Oregon State, just because, again, Oregon State's played fine, but they're not playing anybody. And again, if you look at the teams that they've lost to, they've all been like solid top 25-ish caliber teams, or slightly worse. And so it's like they're not, they're a team, if you put them in the SEC, they're probably finishing below 500 in the conference. So I just don't think they're deserving of a maybe they're like the 16th or the 15th seed and they get a host. But like you said, I mean, how is Vandy not in there as a host? And again, because Vandy's now they're 2 games above 500, and that has something to do with it. But still, it's still early for those projections. Like, by the end of the season, we'll know who the hosts are going to be, like just from looking at the records and stuff. But I do think they'll luck into a host, or not luck into a host, but like the fact that they're a national seed, I don't get that. I don't get that at all. Texas added 2 more guys, also some 25 guys being added for mid majors. Yeah. And here's the thing: you're going to see some guys added as well once the portal opens in the early parts of June. Tomorrow is Kyle's first full Miami. Tomorrow is Kyle's first full Miami game. You're right. Excited for you to give us your thoughts on our team. Me too, man. I'll let you know what I think. But again, I think you kind of just can look on paper and Miami's issue. It's really the pitching's been fine. It's a big drop off after Griffin Hughes in the rotation. They've had a few guys in the bullpen like Siskar that have done pretty well. But there's just not a lot of depth pitching wise, and the offense just isn't scoring runs. Arkansas's guy on the mound came in a 6-4 game is throwing 99. That's pretty good, right? That's pretty good. Can you guys see my gray hairs? My God, man. My God. It's getting bad on the side there. This is my Omaha 8 based off the D1 baseball bracket. Texas, Arkansas, Clemson, Tennessee, North Carolina, A&M, FS. A&M! Wow. No mid majors, huh, Zach? No mid majors in there. I'm going to make a bold prediction here. My bold prediction is that if Georgia Tech gets out of a regional, they make Omaha. Because I think Georgia Tech, I think they're weaker in a regional than in a super regional. I think they're a lot stronger in a 3-game series than in a regional where you're going to play 4, possibly 5 games. So I think if Georgia Tech can win their regional, I think they make it to Omaha. That's my bold prediction. Between plate approach, coaching, etc. Yeah, I'll talk about that. We moved Walters back to closer. He already has 3 saves and has been lights out. That's good. No, I mean certainly you guys have been. Again, you guys have been playing. You guys have been playing better lately. You've won some games. I do think again, even when the games you win, it's not been against an offense like Georgia Tech's, right? And against FAU, you guys won this week. I think you had less hits than FAU and barely won. So it's like that's just not a recipe for winning a lot of games, right? Nope. We'll be all ACC and SEC teams. That's my prediction. Okay. I mean, that's not a bad prediction, right? It's so hard for the mid majors to get to Omaha now, with just how strong the SEC and the ACC are. All right, A&M going to the bottom of the ninth with a 3-run lead. I don't think we have the pitching or bats to hold up against a team like Georgia Tech. Even this 3-game winning streak has been all 1-run games. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. It's like your pitching has to do really well, and the offense is still just barely scoring enough runs to win. And again, like if you look at the run differential for Georgia Tech, it's ridiculous. Pull that up and just see what it is. So for Georgia Tech, the run differential, they've scored more than double the runs that their opponents have. They've scored 365 runs, about 10 runs a game. Their opponents have scored 169. So like Georgia Tech is just like they're just dominating teams in the run scored department. And then if you look at Miami, look at their run differential. We literally almost blew the GT is in a different class than Duke or FAU. Agreed. All right, let's see here. Runs scored. So Miami's run scored differential is they've scored 255 runs. Their opponents have scored 216. So they're just barely outscoring their opponents. Lumpkin was shoving 7 innings, 4 hits. JD pulls him after a weak infield hit, and they proceed to take the lead with 5 straight hits and 4 runs. We literally almost blew that FAU game. JD's godson has literally saved his job the last 2 games. Who's his godson again? He has 3 home runs in 2 games and 7 RBIs. Fritton with another good start against another good start for NC State. They're a very sneaky team. Yeah, and it's like I've told you guys, NC State every year in ACC play starts off slow. Now this year they started off slow kind of out the gate, but they always finish strong in the ACC. They always seem to like the back half, they seem to go like 10-5 or like 12-3. Like every year they do that. In the middle of the year, leadoff base hit for Arkansas. Leadoff base hit for Arkansas. Dorian Gonzalez, senior captain. Okay. So So the announcer for the A&M Arkansas game, the pitcher threw 3 straight changeups. I've talked to you guys about tripling up on a pitch. It just like doesn't make sense. And the announcer goes, "Yeah, it's really hard to get a hitter out with 3 straight changeups." You just got to show them a different look. It's just like a good hitter, and like against a lineup with like Arkansas's, like they're going to make adjustments. NC State has only lost 1 AC series this year. Yeah, it's almost like they started out super slow in the early part of the year against non-conference competition, and then ACC play they've been really good. And again, they usually save their best ball for the back half of the year. So NC State's definitely dangerous. 2-0 count to the second hitter for A&M. If you guys aren't watching this, tune in. Or for Arkansas, I should say. 3-0. 3-0. And see, now if I'm the hitter in this 3-0 count, I'm almost taking the 2 strikes because my run means nothing, and we need to get the tying run to the plate. And if you trust yourself as a hitter, you make this guy throw 3 straight strikes. First one, 3-1. So right now in a 3-1 count, I'm looking for a fastball like middle end over heart of the plate. And if it's there, I'm not missing it. I'm pulling it foul, or I'm going to crush it for a base hit, or I'm taking. And he gets a fastball right down the middle and takes. So 3-2 count now. Now it's important in the 3-2 count. You can't assume you're getting a fastball. He likes throwing right on right changeups. You can't assume he's throwing a fastball. You still have to have that 2-2 count mentality that you could throw anything. And it's a changeup and it's a strikeout. Like I said, looks at the 3-1 pitch down the middle. Yeah. Like that's where you're looking 3-1. It's got to be right down the middle. It was. He took it, and then he gets a 3-2 changeup. Good pitch. Started it slightly off the plate. Came back for a strike. But you got to know he's going to do that, right? He's probably not going to throw you 3 straight fastballs. Agreed, Zach. Bat at bat. Yeah. You don't have to put that in play. Just make sure you fight that thing off, man. Just foul it off. Now, if you're a lefty at the plate, I'm looking for something middle in. I'm going to hit that 4-hole. Hit that 4-hole. Just pull it in that massive hole over there with the first baseman covering. Are we doing a special stream for the Miami-Georgia Tech game tomorrow? Maybe. What time's the game at? Is it 8? I think it's 8 p.m. 1-1 changeup. Rule of thumb for hitters: when you have a guy that can throw a changeup for strikes pretty much whenever he wants, 1-1 count, you're probably getting a changeup every time. Because he can command it. He's not going to give you a fastball. He's going to throw you a changeup. Still a 1-2 count. Wow, is it 8 p.m. tomorrow and 4 p.m. Saturday? Yeah, it's 8 p.m. It's a late start. I like that, though. I like it being a late start. Oh, potential double play. Oh, and he calls him out. They're going to review that, though. They're going to recall the review. They're going to review it. I think he was safe. Better for me, no traffic on the way to the game. Yeah, that's true. Dave Van Horn is not happy about that out call. Yeah, I think he's safe. Yeah, I think he's safe. It's not over, man. I'm pretty sure they're going to overturn this. Yeah, he's safe. He's safe. If this doesn't get overturned, it's ridiculous. SEC is usually pretty quick with their reviews as well, but runner safe. They still got life, man. But now your job as the hitter at the plate is you have to get on base. You're not trying to hit a home run. You get a fastball down the middle again. You gotta have your timing has to be such that it's either pulled foul or it's crushed for a base hit. Can't get beat. JT at the plate, Zach. It's over. Arkansas is cooked. He has 3 Ks today. But again, let the pinch hitter Kendall Diggs. Justin Tom, your boy JT got a pinch hit for Canes. First pitch changeup, especially to a lefty bat. Like you're gonna, I guarantee you see another changeup here. Like 0-1, not gonna challenge you. Just gonna try to get you out front again. Oh, Torres for Bama. Okay. Oh, sat on it. Great swing. That's a good approach right there, man. It's like he was sitting on it. He knew he's getting another changeup. Sat on it. Line drive into center field. Tying run is now at the plate. Oh, he's talking about Torres. Yeah. Well, it's funny because the batter for Arkansas they got pinch hit for was initials were JT. So that's who I thought you were talking about. Where's my other score here? So LSU's up 8-5, mid-8. How can OSU be ranked so high? I don't get it either, dude. I don't get it either. Just look at their schedule, man. They don't play anybody. Their weekend series, I think Irvine's the best team they played. Which is Irvine's a great team, but like that's their best team they've played. And all the other teams they've played that are good, they've lost to. It's 10-7 versus a team Cal State Northridge. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who's 8-24. I know, dude. I've been saying it for weeks. I don't know why Oregon State is just like kind of like media hyped. 2-0 count. You got to can't miss a pitch here. Can't miss. Oh my goodness, you get a fastball right down the middle. Oh my goodness. TCU's a sneak. Yeah, they are. They're playing really good right now. They're playing really well. Should be the game. Oh. First baseman like came off the bag. A&M has won 8 straight games. I don't know. I would have reviewed that if I was Arkansas. The first baseman looked like his foot came off the bag. But again, the batter in a 2-0 count with tying run at the plate, like 2-0, fastball down the middle, you got to take a daddy hack there. All right, let's pull up the LSU game. Good. I hope Oregon State loses tonight. Hawaii game is good. 1-1. Yeah, Hawaii's good, man. Ooh, Derek Curry at the plate for LSU. Curriel 3 for 5 today with a 370 average as a leadoff hitter freshman for LSU. He's been about as good as advertised. Oh, dang, I thought Oregon State was losing, they're winning. Yeah, but again, it's like, I mean, if they're a national seed against Cal State Northridge, who's 8-24, they should be dominating. Right? Like, they should be dominating. Poor Missouri, I'm really starting to think they will finish 0-30. Are they 0-16 now? I didn't even see. Yeah, I mean, they're just so far away from all the other SEC teams. LSU solo or two-run shot. 10-5 LSU now. And Cal Poly beat Santa Barbara. Cal Poly is 15-1 in the Big West. Announcers are at the LSU game are talking about, man, I didn't even think he hit the ball that well. I didn't even think he hit it that well, and it went out opposite field by about 30 feet. Must have been using a torpedo bat. You know, guys, it's just the juiced balls is what it is. It's just the juiced balls. They needed that win to host Cal Poly. Yeah, I mean, they still got to, I think I'm guessing they still got to play some more, but like if they can run the table in the Big West and go like 1 or 2 losses, yeah, watch out for them sneaking into a host, especially if they win their conference tournament. Missouri isn't even competitive. That's what makes me think they will go 0-30. Yeah, I mean, they're just getting dominated. I mean, it's definitely a possibility, Zach, 100%. Cal Poly sitting at number 16 in RPI right now. They're in a good spot. They're in a really good spot. Really good spot. A&M rolling just like I predicted. Elbow cock. Again, I mean, the way they played so bad early. It was just like, how does this team ever recover? But they've gotten hot, man. They've gotten hot. They beat Tennessee in a series. Now they're in a position to beat Arkansas in a series, right? And those were like going into that, you're like, there's just no way they can survive in the SEC with their remaining schedule, and it still is still going to be really tough the rest of the way. But if Cal Poly can win this series and UC Irvine, they will probably be a host, assuming they win the rest of their series. Yep. We got to see. Let's see what the Cal Poly. I mean, Cal Poly baseball stadium. See if they have the capacity to host. Oh, for sure they do. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, maybe they. It's gonna be close. I would say for hosting, 'cause you got to be able to host a certain amount of people. Um, so as long as they meet that standard, yeah, and they finish the way you guys are saying, I think they could be one. What city is Cal Poly in? San Luis Obispo. Looks like they're gonna get some stadium renovations too that look really nice. So watch out for Cal Poly. I remember one year a West Coast team hosted a super regional and they played at a minor league stadium, I think. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there. Still no outs for LSU. Really long at bat. And Jared Jones works the walk. I mean, you just got to stop the bleeding here if you're Alabama. You're already down 5 runs. You got one chance. It's going to be tough. USC has been playing in Irvine all year. I guess they're getting stadium renovations done. Yeah, that sounds right. And they're still playing really well. I like Alabama's pitcher's delivery on the mound. Just pumping easy mid 90s. Love Ben McDonald on the call. Yeah, he's great. He's great. He's just got that southern twang, that Louisiana Bayou country accent. That would have been a great. They announced the play-by-play guy just asked Ben McDonald, "How often does a blue moon come around?" And I really expected Ben McDonald to be like, "Anytime I order it, anytime I order one." Irvine takes the 2-1 lead in the 7th over Hawaii. Great when he's paired with the LSU play-by-play guy with the Cajun accent. Yeah, yeah. I did a broadcast last year of one of the Auburn games with I can't remember his name, but he was like the voice of LSU, like football and all that stuff for a long time. He's a Hall of Fame broadcaster, I think, in Louisiana. And he was like, he had the voice, man. Auburn was playing Georgia, and he's like, "We're here in Auburn, Alabama." Like just the way he said Alabama. Like he just sounded like an SEC football guy, like legend. The funny thing is, you always do a rehearsal of the open. You know, the two teams that you talk about, you do a rehearsal of like, all right, the key player for Auburn, the key player for Georgia, what to expect from the series. And usually you rehearse it once or maybe twice, and like you just feel like, okay, I know what I'm going to say. And when you get really used to it, you just kind of you don't even really need to rehearse. You're like, I'm going to say this, I'm going to talk about this player, and he's doing this. Like you don't really even say what you're going to say. When I tell you he made us rehearse for like 30 minutes straight, and we had to have done like 20 to 25 takes, he kept saying, all right, let's do it again. And at first, like I thought he was kidding. And then we just kept doing it. And I'm like, I guess this is if you're like a legend, maybe this is what you do. Man, LSU is just trying to pile on here. There's a runners on first and second, no out still. West Virginia is 31-4. How are they not a projected host? Because Oregon State's better, Zach. Of course, you know what it is. Oregon State's better. That's what I'm saying. Is it's not that Oregon State's had a bad year. They've still played fine, but when you take into account the competition they've played, it's not good. They haven't really dominated their schedule. And then you have teams like West Virginia, who is dominating with a much tougher schedule, and they're not even a projected host. Reps, Kyle, reps. Dude, we got reps in. When after about 10, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna say this. Like, I took it seriously out of respect for like 10 takes. And then when he was like, all right, let's do it again, I was like, holy cow, man. Can we just like relax before the game? But he was the best. He was awesome. Like, we had some great conversations on air. And he was really complicated. He's like, man, you're doing it because he knew I was young and I had been doing it for like a couple years. But he was just very complimentary of me. He was like, man, you're doing a great job. We're vibing together. Like our timing's really good. So I mean, it was really cool to have a guy like that say that. LSU with the safety squeeze. I love it, man. I love it. Josh Jordan, man. The safety squeeze to just add another run, make it a 6-run lead. But the thing in broadcasting that a lot of people don't get is a lot of times when you're doing it with someone new, like you don't understand. All right, when they pause, but they're still going to talk. All right, you get used to, okay, he's, like when I'd done it with Wiley Ballard, who's now one of the Braves guys, and he still does some college games and stuff. But Wiley's really good. But like I got used to, okay, I know when Wiley's done talking. I know when Wiley's finished his thought. Now I can talk. But with some guys, like you're always you think they're done, and then you start talking, and he starts talking at the same time, and it's like, go ahead. So a lot of time with broadcasting, it's about like how well does the analyst or like the color guy versus the play-by-play guy, like how well do they mesh, and like do they just like kind of vibe well together with timing? I was in the booth with him in Auburn, so I drove down to Auburn. We were in the booth together. I've only done a few studio broadcasts. One of those was the Georgia Tech game a few years ago, and those are cool to do too because you just got so many TVs, you can see all the angles, but you don't get that feel for the game. It is better to talk. It's easier in the studio because you're seeing the pitches like you're watching TV. So I know like, oh, that slider just missed. Whereas when you're up in the booth, you're like, yeah, it looked like it was close. But in the studio, you're like, oh yeah, that was 2 inches off the plate. So there's benefits and negatives to both. I like doing it at the field though, because you get to go down and talk with the coaches and all that stuff, which is important. You get to like talk with them about like who should I be talking about on the broadcast and stuff like that. My future associate head coach, Josh Jordan. Canes, no offense, but you think Josh Jordan's going to leave LSU to be an associate head coach? You're out of your mind. 16 of Oregon State's 27 wins are quad 3 or quad 4. Yeah. And look at their record against quad 1, quad 2. It's like 500. So that's the thing, right? Like RPI is an imperfect metric, and that's not the only thing to take into account, but it's just like when you see their RPI, you're like, how is their RPI that high? It doesn't make any sense. Like, you understand all the SEC teams. You understand, like, Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's got the 14th best RPI. For big bucks? How big? He's being paid as an assistant at LSU. I don't think so, man. I don't think Josh Jordan's leaving LSU unless he gets a head coaching job. So Oregon State is the 8th highest RPI, even though they're basically right at 500 against quad 1 and quad 2 teams. They're 11-7, which is fine. But like if you're like Georgia Tech, for example, is 10-5 against quad 1 and 1-0 against quad 2, and they have a couple losses against quad 4. Even though I think the quad 4 that Georgia Tech's played is better than the quad 4 that Oregon State's played, but again, that they don't really take that into account. The same amount of bucks it would cost to have Kyle Wren as our hitting coach. Okay. Listen. I don't think Josh Jordan's leaving LSU unless he's fired or he gets a head coach job. I just don't think that's happening. Need Oregon and Hawaii to win the series against Oregon State. Yeah. And I think Oregon will. I think Oregon beats them. I think Hawaii can definitely pull out a win. I mean, again, they're playing like it's a weekend series in the middle of the year against Cal State Northridge. And that's nothing, no offense to Cal State Northridge. It's just like Oregon State should be playing in a big-time conference. I don't know why they're not. I know I'm just busting your balls. I get it. I get it. But I mean, seriously, put Josh Jordan on a list for head coach jobs this summer because I mean, he's done a great job everywhere he's been as a recruiting coordinator. Like, look at what he did at Duke with Chris Pollard. I think he would leave for that role though if we hire Chris Pollard. I don't think so, dude. I don't think so. You're not leaving LSU as an assistant to be an assistant at Miami. That just doesn't that doesn't track. That does not make sense in a career path move. It doesn't make any sense. And look at all of LSU's assistants. All of LSU's assistants take head coach jobs. So I just don't think it's happening. Yeah, but I don't think Miami's going to pay slightly more than LSU. I don't unless they have just a ridiculous amount of money to spend. And Oregon State doesn't play a conference tournament, so they get a whole week to rest. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, again, the whole thing, Zach, just doesn't make sense. I mean, it doesn't make sense at all. And look, this is a great move by Josh Jordan, taking out his arm with one out in the ninth, so that you can throw him on Sunday. You know, if you make him throw face two more batters, get two more outs, he could go to 50 pitches, and all of a sudden you're like, it's iffy if we can bring him back, but he's at 35, so he can get a day's rest tomorrow and come back for game 2. I don't know if maybe they play a doubleheader, that'd be different, but I think it's a smart move by Josh Jordan. It's like, listen, we got a 6-run lead. We don't need him to throw any more pitches than he already has. Let's go get another guy out of the pen. Maybe leave LSU for Miami if it was football games. Yeah. I only mentioned it because of his connection with Pollard. Miami can be LSU if we invest, but we would have to invest like we are investing in football. But LSU spends like Georgia spends in football. Yeah, I mean, like I'll say it like this. When you ask anybody around college baseball what LSU's NIL budget is in baseball, it's unlimited. It's the quote a Power 4 coach told me was basically the boosters say, how much do you need? Right, so they don't have a budget. And their talent eval and development is the same as UGA in football. Yeah. I mean, LSU right now currently is a national brand that can recruit the best players from all over the country. Miami is not really that right now. And I think one of the metrics on Warren Nolan you look at is non-conference strength of schedule for Oregon State, and, like, yeah, their non-conference strength of schedule is gonna be high. They don't play in a conference. Every game is a non-conference game. Hunter's Moon. Ben McDonald loved that. He's like, "Oh, yeah, Hunter's Moon." They're talking about stop harassing the Beavers. I'm not harassing them. Again, I've said, like, they've played well, but I just don't see how they're a national seed. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if you wanted to say they're the 15th overall seed or the 14th, I'd say, "Okay." You know, I think there may be some teams more deserving, like West Virginia and stuff, but okay. I'm not gonna, like, die on that hill, but I'm gonna die on the hill of, like, they shouldn't be a national seed. Kent State winning the MAC? I think so, man. Zeke Pinkham, man, he said they're having a good first year with Zeke. He's doing a heck of a job. All right, Alabama gets a runner on here with one out. I mean, and Kent State's always, I mean, they're always really good. Kent State's always one of those mid majors that gets into the tournament. They win their conference tournament. Um, yeah, they're 12 and 4 in the MAC right now. Excuse me. That was your first show you watched? Oh, that's sick. South Carolina starting pitcher threw 86 pitches in 9-inning complete game. Paul Maneri said, "I'm not going to my bullpen. You're staying out there, buddy." I'm probably gonna have to get off here in a second, guys. I think this LSU game's probably going to be over. I might jinx it. JR needs to bring back Zeke as the associate head coach. It might happen. Definitely might happen. The only reason I would see that maybe not happening is Zeke's a catching guy. And if you keep on Scott Strickland as an assistant, like kind of Dusty's talked about, having a former head coach as one of your assistants in the dugout is a good thing for like a new head coach, first time head coach. And Scott Strickland's a catching guy as well. So then you'd kind of be like you have two catching guys on the staff. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but it just depends on like if Scott Strickland's going to stay, then I think it becomes less likely that Zeke comes back. So it just dependent. Yeah, Matt, that's what they called it. That's what 11.7 called it. Like he threw an 86 pitch Maddox. Except Maddox would have taken himself out in the 7th. And with the shift on, no ability to get the double play, but now you have 2 outs, runners on 2nd and 3rd for Alabama, so they still gotta pass the bat back a few times to bring the tying run to the plate. And that's why, man, like, that safety squeeze for just 1 extra run in the bottom of the 8th by Jay Johnson, it's like, just give yourself a little bit more cushion. Because a lot of coaches there, when you're up by 5 runs, 1st and 3rd, it's 1 out, double play situation, they just let them swing away, and they ground a double play, and no run scores. Then all of a sudden, Alabama gets a few runners on, and you're like, "Man, I wish we had 1 more run." Ben McDonald is the best. "I would've stayed up there in my drawers and put it on." All right, Justin LeBron works the walk. Bases loaded now. That extra run's looking mighty nice for if you're LSU. And again, in this situation for Alabama, like, you gotta find a way to get on base. Your number 1 job is just keep passing the bat back until the tying run comes to the plate. Because here's the thing, you hit a grand slam here, and it's funny how psychology in the game works. But let's say they hit a grand slam, it's 11-9. In the pitcher's mind, now he's out of trouble. But if he walks a guy, "Oh, I'm still in trouble." Right? Even though 1 run scored and they still gotta score 5 more to tie it up, like, the pitcher still feels like, "Shoot, I'm in trouble." But when there's no one on base, he's like, "Oh, okay, I'm fine." Well, the batter at the plate now, Snell for Alabama, has 2 home runs on the night. A little mound visit here. Nate Yeski. Five straight balls now for LSU's reliever. Wanted to see LeBron hit. Yeah, but he it was a good at bat. That's what he needed to do, is just pass that bat back. You got 2 outs. Like, you just can't, like, realistically, I don't wanna put a ball in play until until the tying run comes to the plate, you know? Best case scenario. You just don't wanna, you put the ball in play, your batting average isn't 1,000. Can Ben, is it Bengi or Benj? Can Benj throw a strike? I don't know. He just threw one right there. And he just threw another one. Now he's 1 pitch away. Let's see. Can he do it? Big it back here. Working the count, working the count, makes it 2-2. Oh my. Smart by Alabama. Not trying to score there because you just can't make the 3rd out at home. Even if it's like, man, it's you can go if it's just like for sure, but if you're not 100% sure, you just play it safe. 3-2 count now, 2 outs, runners will be moving. So now you more than likely got to get the out at first. Great at bat by Snell. Great at bat by Snell, man. That's a professional at bat right there. Yep, that's gonna be the end of the line for Binge. All right, new arm. Not what Jay Johnson was wanting 100%. But again, hey, how important was that? Because listen, the tying run's at the plate right now if they don't get that run in the bottom of the 8th with the safety squeeze. The tying run is at the plate right now. But, like, Alabama's still got to pass the bat back one more time to bring the tying run at the plate. So how big does that one run look right now? And there's a bunch of guys on Twitter like, why would he bunt right there? They're up by 5. You might as well just swing away. The numbers say that there's you score more runs by percentage wise. Well, guess what? In a vacuum, not in an actual game. So great move by Jay Johnson. Like, he's still got breathing room, right? Bringing in that extra run because right now, if that run didn't score, the tying runs at the plate, and you're nervous as hell in that LSU dugout because with this era of college baseball, like one swing of the bat, this game's tied. 2 straight strikes. I don't know how you take that 0-1 fastball. It's like you don't want to fall behind 0-2. You get a fastball, it's around the middle of the plate, you gotta pull the trigger. 0-2 count, see if he can fight. Bonomalo, however you say his name. Bonamolo. Thank you from the play-by-play guy for LSU. Bonamolo. Big win for LSU. Guarantee if it was a 4-run game when that ball was hit, everyone in the LSU dugout would just hold their breath. Big comeback win for LSU. Nineteenth straight home win for LSU this series. LSU outscored Alabama 10-1 after the top of the 6th. Wow. All right, let's refresh here. Curiel in center. Curiel's good, man. He's legit. He is legit. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be it for me tonight. Those are all the big games are over, it looks like. I know there's a few more going on the West Coast, but Irvine, Hawaii is almost over. Oregon State game's over against Cal State Northridge, so